Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Call Me Skinny. Thanks for joining me today. Yeah, this is a late episode. It just did not happen this last weekend, and I feel like I have to sneeze again. I don't know why I always have to sneeze on this podcast. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to try that one again. All right. So thank you so much for joining. If you are new here, welcome. If you, I'm seeing some new places that this is downloading. So Russia, hey, Russia, how's it going? Some new places in Europe as well. So hello to Europe. And then, of course, welcome back to all those returning listeners. Really appreciate your dedication, if you will, to listening to the podcast with me and joining me on this adventure. If you get something from this, please screenshot, share it, rate, review. All of these things help me get out into the world. I am only, if you will, word of mouth. Okay. And whatever I can promote, market on my own. So if you get something from this podcast, please listen, screenshot and share it, and share it with a friend, share it on your social media, share it with, somebody who could benefit from what you're hearing on here if you think it is beneficial. So today we're going to talk a little bit about calorie deficits and why your calorie deficit might not work. I've talked a little bit about calorie calculators in kind of a similar way, but I'm going to talk about your specific calorie deficit and reasons as to why your actual calorie deficit might not be working. You think you're in a deficit, you're trying all the things, you're doing all the things, but for some reason it's like still, it's just not working. And you're getting kind of pissed off about it if you don't mind me saying so. Like, this is the reality. I too have been there. I have been there in moments when I feel like it should be working and it's not working, and it's really fucking irritating. So let's talk about the very first one, which is your numbers are not actually correct. Okay. A lot of times we might be, overestimating maybe our expenditure, where we think we move a lot when we don't actually move a lot. And so like when you go to put your numbers into the calorie calculator or whatever it might look like, if you multiply by 10, 12, 14, 16, whatever you're multiplying by, and it's not working. It's not like, so, and you overestimate. So maybe you really are more of a 10, but you put yourself as a 12 or a 14. Okay. Or maybe you say you're not sedentary when you actually are. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a second, about how to know like really what you are. Okay. And then also we're the numbers aren't right because they're just generic. They're just a start point. And so this is why nuance always is going to matter in this, why you have to be careful about what you're doing and where you're getting your information from, okay, mostly. So this one here specifically, I want to talk a little bit about overestimating calorie expenditure. If you have a desk job and you get maybe 5,000 steps a day, you're sedentary. You should be multiplying by the very lowest number. You should be checking off sedentary in that box. And it does matter. It does make a difference whether even you go from sedentary to lightly active to heavily active to very active, right? People that I only put at like extreme activity levels are like professional athletes, maybe potentially CrossFitting athletes, depending on how many times a week they're training in CrossFit, and like fucking seriously, like roofers and construction workers. Like outside of that, you are not very active. Like the likelihood that you're very active is very, very slim. Okay. And also understanding what your norm is. So I always use this as an example because I have to explain it in a way that makes sense. But I used to work with somebody who was an assistant manager at TJ Maxx, and she sometimes on days would get like 23,000 steps. Okay. If she was on the floor, she was getting easily 20 to 25,000, let's just say at ranging average, like probably 4 to 6 days a week. Okay. If that is your norm is 20 some thousand steps a day. That is your fucking norm. It's like your baseline. It's like your zero. Okay. So you have to do above and beyond that piece. So if this is your norm and you're still not getting anywhere, it's because you're not going above and beyond your actual baseline of your movement, your activity level. Okay. You have to go above and beyond your baseline. So having the right numbers, understanding where your activity level is, what you're supposed to be multiplying by, or what you're supposed to be setting yourself up as far as activity level is going to give you different numbers. And if you are like, I'm so active, and you're like working a 9 to 5 at a desk and you're barely getting 3,000 to 5,000 steps a day, I love you so much, but you're not active. You are very sedentary. Okay. Very sedentary. So that's the first reason, is you don't have correct numbers. The second reason, this is the biggest thing that I see working and having worked with hundreds of women, you don't know how to track your fucking food. I love you so much, but a tablespoon and a cup and a slice and what other ones that we use? A tablespoon, cup, teaspoon, all these things, slice, God, I'm trying to think of all the generic ones. Things like that. That is not accurate. Okay. We have to get down into grams. If you're not tracking your macros within grams, you are not getting the most accurate. Think about it like this. If I need to go measure, I'm trying to think of something. If I need to measure my foot, okay, I'm not going to measure it in feet. I'm going to measure my foot in inches, right? If I need to measure a house, like how tall a wall is, right? I am not going to measure that wall in yards. I'm going to measure that wall probably in feet, right? Because that's what it is. Now, it's not necessarily translating perfectly because grams is on the metric system, and we don't run on the metric system, and feet isn't on the metric system. But what I'm trying to get you to see is the closer you can get to the thing that you need to be measuring, as in like, it needs to make sense. If we are measuring, a wall, we'll use a metric system here, in kilometers, it's going to be like 0.74 kilometers versus like 1.745 meters or whatever that would translate into. I'm not a math person. We already know this, right? I'm just trying to get you to see why using the right measurement. Like, do you remember in like 5th grade or 3rd grade, or I don't know, maybe even 2nd grade, like what measurement would you use to measure this particular thing? And there was a correct answer, because you want to be able to measure in the thing that it's like closest to. But we're over here scooping peanut butter with fucking tablespoons, not knowing what an actual tablespoon is or serving size. So accuracy of tracking. This also goes into making sure that you know how to read a fucking label. This is a huge problem. Huge problem. Most of us don't know how to read I did not know how to read a fucking label. I had no idea. Did not understand it. I did not understand how 20 grams of chicken wasn't 20 grams of protein. It did not make sense in my head. Okay. It just didn't for so long. And I had to go and I had to learn and I had to go back and I had to fail and I had to go back and I had to just start doing and tracking that way to see that result. Okay. So the accuracy of tracking, it matters. You need to be tracking your food in grams, in grams. If I were to weigh out, let's say a bagel, or let's say, yogurt out of a container. Okay. And I were to track it in ounces, it's going to give me like 1.4 maybe ounces or 3.7 ounces. And that's all I'm going to see. Okay. I need more numbers than that. If I were to then switch that over into grams, right? And let's say it's like 1.72 ounces. So it's almost 2 ounces. 2 ounces is almost 60 grams. So what we would do in this case, I would think to myself, I would put it into grams and be like, oh, this is way more accurate. If I'm going to put in 1.2 ounces or 1.7 ounces, I'm leaving accuracy on the table instead of just kicking it into grams and going with what's stated on the grams. It's going to give me a far better accurate number than just ounces or slices or cups. It's just wild to me that we're still doing this. And I love you all, but no offense, but like, you can Google this. You should be Googling this. ChatGPT this shit. Why should I track in grams versus, hey, let's do it. Why should I track in grams versus ounces? Let's see what it says. Why should I track my food in grams versus ounces? I'm just curious to see what it says. because again, you can, all the information is here. Okay, so right here it says tracking your food in grams rather than ounces can significantly improve the accuracy and effectiveness of your calorie deficit. Here's why. 1, greater accuracy and precision. Smaller increments. Grams offers finer measurement increments, allowing you to precisely measure Example, 1 ounce equals 28 grams. Using grams allows you to easily measure smaller or larger accurate quantities. Example, butter, oils, and nuts. Easier tracking and logging. Most nutrition labels globally list nutritional values based on gram measurements. Many nutrition apps like MyFitnessPal default to grams, simplifying logging. Consistency and measurements. Grams are the global standard and measurement for food. There we go. Reduces confusion once converting ounces to grams. Improve portion control. Smaller units encourage precise portion control, helping prevent accidental calorie creeps. And this is what they use. Measuring peanut butter in grams. 16 grams equals 1 peanut butter. Prevents mistakenly consuming double the serving size by eyeballing. Simplicity for cooking recipes. That's it. Tracking in grams is a small habit shift with substantial benefits for clarity, accuracy, and effectiveness of your calorie deficit strategy. So here, what I'm trying to say, I guess, is like, you don't need me to fucking tell you this. You can go learn about it. But what I'm trying to say here is your accuracy does matter. And if your calorie deficit isn't working, it could be because you're not accurately tracking your food. I do see this quite often, especially with the fattier foods like peanut butter, oils, nuts, avocados, things like this, becomes a big fucking problem. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3, you're just not fucking patient. You're like, oh my God, I've been in a calorie deficit for a week and the scale went up. Oh my God, I've been in a calorie deficit for 3 days and the scale went up. Oh my God, I've been in a calorie deficit for 2 weeks and the scale's not doing. Oh my God, the calorie deficit. Oh my God. And you're not patient. Come back to me after 6 to 8 weeks of being very consistently in the numbers that you think you need to be in. And then we'll have a fucking conversation, because then I know that you're at a patience level that is going to make sense for your fucking journey. Period. Okay? Why your calorie deficit is not working. Your weekends. Okay, this is number 4. It's your fucking weekends. You are so good. You're so good during the week, and then the weekends come, you just can't handle it. You just can't do it. You just can't stick in it. That also tells me that your calorie deficit isn't working because it's too restrictive. Remember that we want to be dieting on the most amount of calories as possible. So that way, when it comes to the weekend, you're not going off the deep end because you haven't restricted yourself so much during the week that you fall off, that you fall over, that you spiral out of control. Whatever phrase that you're going to use to describe it, let's prevent it by dieting on appropriate calorie numbers so that you can fucking stay in a calorie deficit. So simple. I love you all, but we need to get out of this slash the calories, slash the calories, slash the calories, slash the calories. No, we need to be dieting on the highest number possible for calories, okay? Highest number possible. That way, when the weekend comes, we don't have like, oh, fuck, the weekend's here. Oh, fuck again, the weekend's here. Oh, God, got to start over on Monday. We are done. We're not doing this anymore. We're maturing. We are growing up, ladies. We're growing up, okay? So weekend habits is number 4. And number 5 here is metabolic adaptations. And what I want to talk about specifically on this is the fact that so many of you have been dieting for so fucking long that you're trying to diet on 1,200 calories because that's all your body will do. And unfortunately, you have dieted too many times over and over again in too strict of a deficit for too long of a time that your metabolism's like, hey, go fuck yourself. Like, fuck off. I'm not doing shit. I'm not going nowhere. You just suffer at this point. You're just going to fucking suffer because you've made me suffer for so long. For so long. If you are on the always starting on Monday, the diet train Monday, toot toot, motherfuckers, I'm talking to you. Because this is the problem. You have just adapted to, like, your body already knows what's coming. Like, oh, here we go again. Oh, here we go again. And it's not about tricking your body, right? But your body knows that you're going to restrict so hard that it's going to fight like hell to not budge, to not let go of fat, to not do what you want it to do, right? So now we have to adjust. We have to eat more, right? And a lot of times when we add in more calories, it's interesting that oftentimes you lose weight because your body's like, quote unquote, feels good, feels safe. It's like, okay. And it's not that your body's not going to lose weight. Like, again, I love Jordan Syatt. If you don't follow him, I highly recommend a good follow over there on Instagram. But he talks a lot about, starvation mode and the fact that it's like people do lose weight in very stressful situations, like life and death stressful situations. When you're being starved, okay, and the most recent example, I'm not trying to get political, but the most recent example is like all the things that are going on in the Middle East right now with people being captured and starved and whatever. Like, they are in very high stress situations and they are coming back looking very, very fucking lean. They have lost a lot of weight. And they look very, very different. Okay. That is because if your body is an actually true calorie deficit, it will fucking lose weight, even stressed as shit, even stressed to all the high heavens of the high world above. It will happen. It will happen. Now, I'm not suggesting that anybody goes out and starves themselves. Okay. This is not what my suggestion is. I suggest that we probably have to take a break from dieting and move our calories to a place that make sense for quite some time. What that time looks like is going to be very different for every single person. How long should you stay at a homeostasis? How long should you stay at a maintenance level? How long have you been dieting? Because that's going to really play a role in how long your metabolism has been just on this roller coaster, and it just needs to feel fucking good. It just needs to feel good. It needs to not have to constantly be doing the things that you think it needs to be doing. Let it fucking do its job, right? So understanding that typically after you add in these calories and we are eating at an appropriate level for quite some time, the moment then that we do try to start a diet phase or go into a calorie deficit, it works because now your body's like, okay, we can do this now because you're not going to put me down to 1,000 calories, right? Like at the end of the day, calorie fucking deficits work. Calorie deficits fucking work. All it is a diet. Keto puts you in a calorie deficit. Optavia puts you in a calorie deficit. Weight Watchers puts you in a calorie deficit. All they're doing is putting you in a goddamn calorie deficit. That's all they're fucking doing. That's it. That's all. That's all they're doing. It's a calorie fucking deficit. It's just very extreme. Even Weight Watchers. I didn't know it at the time, to be honest. When I did Weight Watchers, I had no idea how extreme their calorie deficits were. And now looking back, I'm like, damn. When a whole fucking like mini Dairy Queen takes up 15 of my points, shit, that's a lot of fucking calories. It's a lot of fucking calories. Or translated into points, right? But it's really not that many. When I go back and I look at that, I'm like, oh, actually, it was only like 300 calories and it took up half of my fucking points for the day. Like, what the fuck? How many calories were I fucking eating? What the fuck? Because that's the reality of it. That's how severe of a calorie deficit you're in. Well, no wonder why you're losing weight, bitch. Good job. So these are the reasons why your calorie deficit might not be working, right? We don't have correct numbers. Your accuracy of tracking is shit. You're not fucking patient. Your weekend habits are so bad because you restrict way too much in the week. And your metabolism's kind of like, hey, fuck off. Like, and I'm not going to let you do any of this until, I'm not going to let you do what you want until you give me some reprieve here. Okay. And again, it's not that you can't continuously go lower and lower and lower and lower in a calorie deficit, but where does that leave you besides starving? Not good, right? So, that's it. That's what I got for you today. So yes, it's late. My apologies. I hope you guys are having a great week so far. Fat Loss Basics. We're absolutely crushing it in there. The ladies are regrouped. They took a breather the week that I was in spring break and just kind of hung out. I'm excited for our call tonight. Every Wednesday night we do a call. And I just go on and I talk about things. Last week we were talking about celebrating the the small wins, because y'all don't do that shit enough. So I highly recommend y'all get on it. If you're interested in Fat Loss Basics, it is in the show notes. Link is in there. Please don't forget to screenshot, share this. Maybe you're tired of listening to your coworker bitch, whine, moan, and complain about her calorie deficit not working. Share this with her so she can say, or so you can tell her to shut the fuck up. Hey, take a listen to this. So, and then you guys, I hope you guys have a great hump day, because every day is a great day for hump, and I will catch you on the next episode.